Welcome. Sit down, roll up, pour up, turn up and tune in, because you're now watching the Buncher Bull Network.
Yo, welcome back to another week of The World We Know. I'm your host, Greg Lamont. And make sure you got your blunts ready, got your drink ready, spark up, sip, and get ready for some good talks. This is The World We Know. And this week is more so a week highlighting what's to come, but there's always a couple good things to mention throughout the week. So let's get into our first topic is actually of the week. So tomorrow night, there's a pretty big event happening. If you're a combat sport fan, tomorrow night there will be Teofimo Lopez versus Rolando Romero. Will be taking off tomorrow, and it's pretty big and interesting for the boxing world because it's kind of the first time in a while we've seen two peers, like two actual genuine friends, go at it in the ring. So should be good, should be lit, should be live. And there were some highlights. They actually had a press conference yesterday. I believe they have one tonight as well. But there were highlights from their conference yesterday because they both brought their dads. Which, if you follow any dad trainer in the boxing world, there's always drama and kind of like showtime games with fathers. But their fathers seem to like literally get at it with one another and seem to have a real rivalry over their fucking sons. So I think that will bring more intensity into the match with them being friends and shit and their dads going at it. I'm sure that will rile both of them up to an extent, but it's a pretty big fight. To be honest with y'all, I don't know who wins this match because they're pretty equal in my opinion. Like they're very different fighters, but they're pretty equal in like abilities. Like uh, Teofimo Lopez just lost to Shakur Stevenson, yes, but I mean obviously Shakur Stevenson's like a Floyd-esque fighter, and this isn't Tio's first loss. And losing doesn't mean that you're not a great fighter. Like almost every legendary fighter has lost a match. So but uh Teofimo Lopez outside of that loss has had very, very commendable achievements. He's won undisputed. He's beat Lomachenko. He's beat Josh Taylor. He's taken some good fights. The only last couple people that we need to see him match against to see what he's really made of is Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, and Tank. But Teofimo Lopez is one of the current greats. So now Rolly, on the other hand, people don't really put him in that like great debate conversation right now, but Rolly's like a surprise for real. Rolly fought Tank. Yes, he lost, but anybody who's actually seen that fight or has like watched highlights of that fight knows that Rolly was actually winning that fight until he got knocked out, which I guess you could say that doesn't matter if you get knocked the fuck out, but he was winning the fight and was doing his shit on Tank, being a nobody at the time. And then after that, Rolly surprises the world and beats Ryan Garcia, which nobody's seen coming. Um, Now, yes, Ryan is giving excuses for why it happened, but at the end of the day, a loss is a loss is a loss. Although you can't say that to Devin Haney because he got his loss removed. But yeah, Tio versus Rolly. This shit's gonna be good tomorrow night, August 22nd. Taking off. It's gonna be lit. I don't really think it's gonna be a fight of the year contender, but I do think that this fight will be a pivot towards a possible fight of the year contender. Because whoever wins this fight fights either Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, or Tank's claiming for a return. But yeah, Tio versus Rolly. It's gonna be fucking lit. And another big fight coming up uh, on the horizon, not as soon as this week, but is Ryan Garcia versus Conor Ben. That will be taking place next month, September 22nd. No, not 22nd. I believe it's September 12th. It will be taking place. Ryan Garcia versus Conor Ben. And this is going to be a bit of a struggle for Conor Ben because this is him coming down about 20 pounds in weight. His first fight in I believe 2 years, maybe 3 years at welterweight, coming down from fighting Chris Eubank Jr. at 168. So it's going to be pretty big. My prediction for these fights, I predict that, well, in the Teofimo Rolly fight, my prediction for that is Teofimo is a very technical, skilled boxer. He's more of like a matrixical boxer who likes to toy with you, play games. Like he has highlights of hitting people behind his back and like fucking with your head. But he's not necessarily like a boom, like one punch knockout puncher. He doesn't necessarily have concerning power, right? Now, Rolly is actually surprisingly very high boxing IQ, but Rolly has some fucking hammers on him. So if I'm giving my prediction for this fight, I believe that Rolly Romero is going to win by either a TKO or a decision from a knockdown. I think it will be close, but Rolly's not really going to fear his power, but we'll see. Now as for the Ryan Garcia Conor Ben fight, it's very fucking interesting because Conor Ben is like angry as fuck, which he's always angry. The nigga's like a pit bull, but he genuinely don't like Ryan Garcia, and Ryan don't like him either. But Conor Ben's like going way harder than he did for his previous match against Chris Eubank Jr. And the word and the rumor, at least in the sports world, Sports Center, different things like that, the Ring, magazine, all that type of shit, is that Conor Ben is training for the knockout against Ryan Garcia, which you might think like, well, yeah, everybody wants to knock out. That's actually, most fighters never really say I'm training for the knockout. They say I'm training to win. If the knockout comes, okay. But the word is that Conor is literally training for the knockout, which is like, yeah, okay. But it makes sense. That rumor kind of makes sense because you look at it, Conor Ben, really the only way he wins this match is by a knockout because he's not going to outpoint Ryan Garcia. Although you don't think of Ryan Garcia as a smart technical fighter, he is, and he definitely will keep you the fuck away from him because he has, out of all of the Devin Haney, besides Tank, but Devin Haney, Shakur, Tio, all of them, Ryan has the power. So I think this fight, Conor's going to need the knockout. If he doesn't get the knockout, then he's either getting knockout or losing by points. So with that being said, my prediction for this fight is obviously a Ryan Garcia win. I'm predicting around 7 knockout. That's my prediction. But and my prediction for tomorrow night will be a decision win by Rolly. That's my prediction. But yeah, the boxing world, it's kind of quiet, but you know, there's some decent fights this year. Hopefully some more great ones on the horizon. But now in the hip hop realm, there was a pretty fucking out the fucking blue release today that came out of nowhere really. Now, I mean, there were snippets put out a day ago in California, and academics reviewed that and put it out to the people, but The Game released a track with Drake called No Breaks. And this track is it's a lit track, but it's interesting because he's talking kind of hot. And it's really a Kendrick diss. So we'll see what's happening. The Game's from Compton, Kendrick's from Compton. So yeah, let's see what y'all think. This is a snippet from the song. I'm not gonna play the whole thing for y'all.
Enemies again, amigos. Take off on a nigga like amigo. And my diamonds all set like amigo. And I'm sipping Quavo like amigo. this 6 focus, smoke like a pre-roll. No brakes, no brakes, no brakes, no brakes. I'm back outside, sleep when I die. No brakes, no brakes, no brakes, no brakes. I want all the smoke with this Drake on my side. No brakes, no brakes, no brakes, no brakes.
I want to smoke with this Drake on my side.
No brakes, no brakes, no brakes, no brakes. Yeah. Like kids at a playground, I'm about to slide. I'm about to slide. 3 birds and a cool 22s on a ride. Nigga said pick a side.
All right, that's probably good on that. I don't want to overshare that. But yeah, y'all, that's the vibe for the song No Breaks, The Game and Drake. Highly recommend y'all tap in and listen to it. The song I think is a bit late. It sounds like a summer bumper, like a good thumper for the summer, but summer's over now. So, but I guarantee, or not guarantee, but I recommend y'all tap into that, bump that on some drives, late night drives. It's lit. But the song concept itself it's a club song, but it's really at Kendrick. I mean, he keeps talking about having Drake on the side, and then he has a line where he says, they tell me pick a side, then I'm picking homicide. I'm a slide with this Drake by my side, blah, 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 blah. And he keeps talking about it. Now, on the song, I hate to spoil it, but for those who listen, Drake is only the chorus on it. There is no verse, but it's interesting to see what the fuck's going to come this year. The year's dwindling down, y'all. We got like 3.5 months, and Jay-Z's still got an album to drop this year. Kendrick's been pretty quiet. I mean, he's had a snippet, and he did have a feature with Baby Keem after Iceman, but that nobody talked about. But yeah, I mean, shit's about to heat up. We're gonna see who the fuck's gonna get involved and how this shit's gonna go. But the game, the No Breaks track, I really hope the game has some better shit like on the lock, like tucked in, ready to go, because the track's really like, it's fire, but for being a diss, it's probably like a 7. But for being a club song, it's 8.5. I give it that. But yeah, tapping in No Breaks, y'all. See what the fuck happens with this beef. Who y'all think's gonna get involved, and all the things in that realm. But yeah, No Breaks, Drake the Game. It was kind of surprise release this morning. But actually, also with that release came, I mean, that was released as a single, but the game did drop an album, which I could give a review on next week. But let's see, what's the name of the album again? Shout out the game's album. No Breaks, the Documentary 3. Okay, so the game dropped the Documentary 3 today. And yeah, hell yeah, tap into that, y'all. Tap into No Breaks and the Documentary 3. But now, side question. Is the live studio music recording like the old traditional way of going into the big studios recording, is that dying? Now, yes, you could have asked that question in 2018. You could ask it a while ago, but the question is it dying or is it growing right now? With the way things are, fucking AI making beats, AI tweaking your masters, most people getting laptops and softwares, DAWs, all this shit. Is the live streaming, not live streaming, it is the live recording of the big, large studios slowly going to become obsolete, or will there always be a space for that? Will those studios have an edge always? I think I had this question to myself yesterday. I was thinking, I think I'm gonna talk more about this later and have deeper topics on this. But as we look at things like last week, Tyga drops an AI instrumental complete album. And most people will never know that unless they hear him say that. And most people have laptops, as I said. Most people have a smartphone. You can record on your smartphone. And just where we're at, competition, saturation, will the live studio experience become obsolete, or is this the time for it to flourish if they utilize the tools at hand? I think that's kind of an open-ended question right now, but with the many different questions we have every week concerning technology and advancements and shit like that, I think that's going to be something that these next couple of years is highlighted. But yeah, my answer to it, I personally feel right now they're not dying right now. I actually think they're doing pretty good right now in the right areas. But I do believe that as things become easier, like nowadays, before a lot of people who make websites and sell websites couldn't do it before because they didn't have the tools to do it. Like they had to go to a third party to do it. Now they can do it. I think that same power is going to be extracted across like multiple different industries. And I don't know, shit's gonna get fucking freaky, y'all. Real fucking freaky. Real fucking freaky. Now, in in the movie realm, I guess you could say this is television, but in the movie realm, seen an announcement recently, and this made me kind of happy. But I'd like to know, as time passes, what y'all think about this. Disney says supposedly this is true, but Disney claims that they'll be bringing back classic animation films, like the old school, like Beauty and the Beast, Snow White, uh, like all those kind of Cinderella, like Lion King, like those type of shits. They're claiming they're bringing them back. Do we think that in this day of age, because most of the film or most of the shows that children watch nowadays are completely different looking in animation than they used to be. Do we think that those will still perform? Or do we think that people will gravitate to the old classic Disney form? Like, I personally think that they won't do too well unless they are the classic stories. But I don't know. What do you think, Jesse? Do you think it's good for Disney to bring back the old animation style, or do you think it would still perform good?
I don't know. I think a mixture of the two, but I think really like let's say that they do a new Alice
Mm-hmm.
same story. Don't try to like modernize it or
Right.
something like that. Just better the graphics. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think those would sell if you just
Like a remastered kind of. Yeah.
an HD version or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if it's like
I absolutely could see people going to see the classics remastered for sure. Now that I could see.
And then you can also do other ones that are however you want to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you have the ability to do so much if you just like set a specific line that's just
Cliffhanger. Yeah.
the remastered collection or something. You know what I mean? All these are HD versions. But when I say remastered, I don't mean like how they be remastering movies right now. Like, oh, the remastered Lion King or whatever.
Right.
They have done some of those already. I don't mean like that. I mean like go in and in a sense you're gonna have to kind of redo the movie, you know what I mean? Same story, just in order for it to like be that upgraded, you probably have to redo it. I couldn't imagine you could just go in and tweak what was there because it was a whole different type of graphics system or whatever. I'm sure I imagine, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know that much.
Right.
But
yeah, no, well, I could see them. I could see that being a success. And the way that I could see it overall being a success is if they do that, remaster those, and then the same way that Marvel kind of the same way that Marvel does, like, I don't know, I don't really know if they do it so much, but like branches off into other stories. I could see there being Snow White on this adventure, like Lion King with a certain name, like Doomsday, or like, so not Doomsday, but you know what I mean, like side missions. I can see them doing that, but I just don't see the current generation gravitating to a brand new story like with that type of animation. It could happen, but I think that era was that era, and I don't know, the style and fashion comes and goes. Who knows? But Yeah.
Yeah, we got a newer generation of kids, so it's a real toss-up.
Right. Yeah. And pretty much all children's shows have been like reanimated. But yeah, the next question for y'all is, with the recent performance of Spider-Man, which I finally got to see last week. I didn't see it all, but now I got to see it. I actually might give a little bit of a review on it without any spoilers. But with the recent release of Spider-Man and the performance of it, it sounds kind of crazy, but is Spider-Man bigger than the MCU? With it,
The hype around him as a whole, yes. But to keep it real, right now, Doctor Doom, I think, trumps it all.
Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
When is that coming? Do we have a a projection
In December, I believe.
for real? And that's what I forget his name. Dude who plays Tony Stark.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr.
Damn. Well, I mean, I'm gonna say this. I agree with you. I think the hype is like really big, but I think that the only I don't know if I really want to say this. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I'm gonna say that. Like, Spider-Man's my favorite all-time hero. I don't think he's the most powerful all-time hero, but he's my favorite.
Yeah, December 18th.
God bless. Oh shit. Are you gonna see that one in theaters, or are you gonna just sit back for that one too?
I probably will.
Hell yeah, bro. Man, I'm telling you though, bro, this Spider-Man's good, man. I don't know, man. I think
Yeah,
you're gonna fuck with it heavy whenever you see it, even if you see it on streaming.
I'm definitely gonna watch it.
But what I was gonna say was, so my thing is, Spider-Man is doing fucking outstanding right now, but he's also my favorite hero. But I'll say this: I don't think the current movie would perform as well as it did if it wasn't for the MCU. So is he bigger than the MCU? Not necessarily, because I think the next Avengers movie, every Avengers movie is probably gonna do better than the last. Probably, until they get shitty, if they do. But I think that if this was like the old like Sony, which I don't know, it's not Sony anymore, I don't think. But if this was like the old Toby Spider-Man, not sure if it would perform this well. Maybe, who knows? But for me, yes, I like Spider-Man more than the MCU, but yeah. Hey baby, she said, a star, keep going, you're building something. Generational curses, creating a new path. I appreciate you, baby. Love, love, love. But yeah, film is heating up, like I said, y'all. I've been hearing a lot about this film called The Odyssey too, but I don't really have much to say about it yet. I have to look into it. Do you know anything about that? The Odyssey? Cause okay, well, I need to look into it because I just seen something where that The Odyssey is now the highest grossing ever R-rated film. So I gotta look into that. I don't even know the plot, but hell yeah. Before we get into our next topic, make sure y'all tap in every single Friday at 4 p.m. for The World We Know, every single Friday at 6 p.m. for Stash Spots, and every single Saturday at 8 p.m. for Marley's State of Mind. Be there, have your blunts ready, have your drink ready, spark up and sip. And yeah, get ready for some good talks every week. You could catch us on YouTube, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, and X at Bunchable Studios. Make sure you check in and be ready, tapped in with us every single week. And yeah, let's keep getting into it. But yeah, the film world is definitely heating up right now. I'm hoping that every genre, like comedy, every single genre gets a shine, but for sure. My next thing is Israel. Actually, before we get into the sad shit, let's get into another sad thing. Last week, I don't hear nobody talking about this, but last week, 16,000 people died in Europe from a heat wave. Now, there's claims that like these people were having like AC issues in the area, blah blah blah. But 16,000 people, and I actually should check this number out. 16,000 people died from heat wave. So I'm seeing 16,000 people died from a heat wave, but I'm not really seeing many news reports. So I need to see what the fuck is up with this. So yeah, oh my God. So it's facts. But this wasn't last week, so I don't know why it was just reported. But it says during June 22nd to 28th, approximately 16,000 more people died than usual. Yada yada yada. Anyways, the heat wave's coming. It's the year of the El Nino. Let's see what the fuck's about to happen. I think if it would kill a lot of people, maybe it would have done it now. But however, the last El Nino, that was the record-breaking one that killed 50 million people, did not kill people in North America. It killed them in Brazil and Asia, more so China, areas like that. But yeah, it's pretty fucking sad though, for just damn near a whole town just to die from a fucking heat wave. But God fucking bless. Now back to Israel. So this week, there's been a strike on Syria, which I should have had a short prep of this, but one of Israel's politicians even confirmed like this was aimed at Turkey, but the attack was on Syria. And the reason that this attack took place is because Syria and Turkey are in the middle of finalizing their peace agreement, not peace agreement, but their military pact, I guess you could say, for protection, and pretty much like a hit against them is a hit against us type of thing. And the thing about Turkey is this is where shit gets fucking like we're playing more and more with World War III. Because the thing about Turkey is they said that they're preparing, blah blah blah. Turkey has a very, very, very strong military, one of the best in the world, stronger than Israel's. Now Turkey's not a nuclear power. Now Turkey's friend Pakistan, they're the only nuclear power confirmed in the region outside of Israel. But here's why it's scary about Turkey. Although they are not a nuclear power, Turkey is a part of NATO. NATO has a thing which pretty much is the hit against one is a hit against all. So if Europe gets hit by Russia or something, or if somewhere like that gets hit, then other NATO countries are supposed to, according to the agreement and pact, come and protect. Now, Turkey is a Middle Eastern country. So is Pakistan, but I don't believe Pakistan's in NATO. But Turkey is, and if Israel is not in NATO, okay? So with Israel creeping towards what they've been talking about and hitting that for months of Turkey being next, the thing is, if Turkey gets hit, is there going to be the NATO traditional agreement, or is Turkey going to be sacrificed? And if Turkey is sacrificed, then NATO is pretty much meaningless. And if NATO is pretty much meaningless, then it's all out fucking chaos. And between all the countries in NATO, because then it's like, okay, who's really protecting who? Which one of us really get protected? Because we're all supposed to be protected. And then it just takes us down a really bad place. Plus, Israel is not in NATO, as I just said. So if Turkey gets their bluff called by Israel, is Britain going to hit Israel? Is any NATO country going to hit Israel? I doubt it. So I don't know. I think we're just playing retarded fucking war games, and it's not looking good with the fuck's happening. But yeah, we'll see what the fuck is next to come. I don't know. The good thing, I mean, in better news, is that the war with Iran and the U.S. has not been heating up any more than it already was. It's pretty much at a stand point of where it's been. But yeah, let's just hope that by the end of this year, we talk about these things in past tense because shit is not looking good. Now, the next thing in the political world, I want to give my projections and predictions on the midterms coming up. Now, no, I did not pay attention to who all won the primaries. I know that most of it was the APAC candidates because a couple of people I've watched did follow the election to see like did the non-donated candidates win or did the donor candidates win, with the world being how it is right now. And unfortunately, more often than not, the ones with the big donors won. But that doesn't matter for the presidential. Now, we're talking about midterms. Midterms is pretty much where the pendulum swings during a presidency. Most presidencies in the history of our country have had the midterms change the power. So if there was a Democratic majority, if a Democrat won the presidency, then usually if they win the presidency, they win either the majority of the House or Senate or something. It's rare for them to have all of them, which Trump has right now, but usually they have the majority overall. But 9 times out of 10, most presidencies during the midterms, it swings over where that they lose some seats in the House, seats in Congress, seats in Senate, blah, 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 blah. And rarely does impeachment happen. I think it's only happened like once. I don't even know if it was like successful, like actual impeachment, but I believe it's happened once semi-successfully. However, this presidency, I believe Trump's getting impeached. I mean, I've said for almost a year and a half now that I believe year 3 that he's going to be targeted and attacked. And you hear them keep talking about Iran's trying to assassinate Trump. Iran's trying to assassinate Trump. I think they're just gaslighting to set up some bullshit. But yeah, my prediction is these midterms, we blew it, in my opinion. I mean, I'm saying as if I've always been a Republican. I'm really just whatever aligns with me. Like I voted for Biden and then I voted for Trump. But I'm saying we, as in I voted Republican this time because it was great things. I mean, great things were done, but the balance of good to bad at this point is just not good. And there's really no talking points. There's really not too many bragging rights. There were for a little bit, but there's not much that you can really hold your hopes on and like bet the house on that we're going to keep the majority. So with that being said, last presidency for Trump, they tried impeaching him twice. They were almost successful, which I'm not saying is good or bad, but this time I think they got a pretty damn good shot, especially with the simple fact of first time he had no wars. Didn't start any wars. Economy was doing pretty damn good until like his last year. Everything was seeming all right. So it's like, yeah, why is he really actually going to get impeached? But this time, this was the most selfish term he could have had. So I don't see it going the full 4, but you never know. You never fucking know. But that's the fucking world we live in. Yeah. Next week we'll have plenty more to get into. I actually want to dive into in the political world, but I still have to give you guys the breakdown of it. Is the Candace Owens versus Andrew Wilson debate and things to do with the Charlie Kirk assassination lining up. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week of The World We Know. I appreciate y'all tuning in and tapping in for all the great topics. Make sure you're here next week. Have your blunts ready and peace.